and welcome to Thinking in Turns, and this video will be a start of a new series, since there's currently a 2v2 Isar Cross tournament going on, and I wanted to look at every single game of those, because it is something very new. You don't often see 2v2s, or at least multiple players in Westnov, and just cast them along the way. So, to take it away, I have no idea at all about 2v2 meta and Isar Cross, so if you guys have more experience, if you guys have any interesting strategies or anything that I missed during the replay, then just leave it a comment down below. And with this, let's get started. So right here, we have two teams playing against each other. Let me look them up real quick. So we have ATA Carlos, which is clmates, and khorneflakesBA. And we have the team Clear Ocean, having Puma and Raipazin in them. So these are the two teams. Let me team view for you as well. This is what I see. And Isar Cross, it is quite a small map for having 4 players in it, especially with only 20 villages, which would be about 5 villages per player. I think all of them are random, so people don't know what they're playing and who they're playing against. They just know that there are no mirror matchups here. So let's see how they get adjusted to it. Honestly, it is also quite difficult to recruit on the first turn, because you don't know what you're facing, but the distance is so close, so if you're recruiting the wrong units, you might end up far behind. Usually, I think, at least I would simply just recruit a bunch of grunts, maybe one Naga, because there are some shallow water tiles over here, and some swamps, which Nagas are pretty good in. But I'm not sure if I would recruit an assassin or an archer this early, unless I know who I'm playing against. There's normal start. Now this is interesting, you just go for an O-circle early on. Yeah, this is also just a bunch of everything. Now, looking at this map, there are a lot of interesting tiles, but mostly there are a couple of areas that you will probably be playing around, which is like this area here, where you have the hill to defend the village in this here. And probably the middle, because whoever controls the center usually has the mobility to go to either side and to get numbers advantage going. Yeah. Also, in recruitment from Cornflakes, I don't think he saw what he's playing against it here. Oh, he did see the Naga after recruiting the glider, because it is a quick glider, so he has just enough movement to see that he's playing against the Northerners, and therefore he recruits 2 Drake Burners. Okay, this is actually super interesting. And you can also see how close they are together, if you have a scout who can see into the enemy base. But usually you would not be recruiting 2 Drake Burners. They're quite risky, especially if you have a bad matchup, like if you are playing against elves, then you're kind of done already. That's interesting. Also, the Saurian Augur, who can heal. The healing also applies to your allies as well, if you can manage correctly. We'll see. Now, they both know that they're playing against the Drakes, please. This seems like a solid recruitment. I'm not sure what the infantryman is doing here exactly. But we have him. Have an infantry for the win. I know Mato would like this one. I'm not quite sure. Maybe you guys have good ideas. I would probably try to recruit a cavalryman, so I can get him to this hill or somewhere around here quite quickly. Just try to establish control over this area. If you get here early enough and then you get the control to go to the right side, you probably have a good advantage. But we'll see what happens here. Actually, let me get the fog of war going, at least at the start, because they have no idea who they're playing against in the north yet. The Griffin Rider moves out, claims the village. Which is also quite important. They already have some units in here. Damn, this quick Drake ladder just going all the way, taking this village as well. Usually you have somewhat of a cut in the middle, like all the villages above the cut should belong to one team, and below that's to the other team. It's like this village early on is at least a slight positional advantage. You can also see the Drake warrior coming out, and this is just something you can only do because the map is this small, and you can't actually attack as Drakes during morning without being punished too hard. Well, this is interesting. Raipazin spending a second turn to get one more village. but he did claim all of his villages. So let's work out. See one goblin. I don't actually like the goblins. If you look at your opponents, look at them having the burners, having the drakes. If they just mainly go for drakes, your spear does quite a lot of damage, especially during nighttime. And goblins don't cost any upkeep. Will also be a huge problem. But now we get into the first engagement. Yeah, I have full map under control. The Griffin Rider sneaks past the goblin, tries to get some hit on the archer. And there's instantly the second turn. Now, maybe I'm missing something on the turns, but it seems like the turn order is orange, purple, brown, and then blue. And it does matter quite a lot what the turn order is, because now both of these players can hit orange, can hit the puma, before he has any chance to retaliate. Yeah, this is quite an amazing use of the mobility provided by the Griffin Rider. And this is something that I would have probably expected if you have some fast units like a cavalryman that's up front. But already doing pretty well. Getting your leaders so far out might be quite dangerous, especially if you get poisoned. It might just get super annoying. You already did clear up 2 units, and there's not a lot standing against you. Now, I'm not sure about the Orcish archers. They obviously do work well into drakes with their range attack, but they just cost so much, and obviously cost upkeep as well. I feel like getting a bunch of goblins, even though they don't have a zone of control, is just more cost efficient. But we'll see how it goes. The Cavalry Infantryman finally got to the front line, into the village. Let's see what the rest does. This is kind of annoying here. You need quite a lot of turns to grab all these villages and start moving about. Be a bowman as well. I would expect the loyalists to just simply spam spearmen, try to get control over this area, and maybe hit the drakes. We'll see how it goes. There's also some combat from the orc. Yeah, the leader also gets poisoned. He is kind of zone of control here. Makes it a bit difficult to move out, but I don't think this ground will last for long, so we'll see how far they can get. You do have low starting gold here, low villages, so you won't see a crazy amount of units. But since it's 4 players, it should still be somewhat close to 1v1. And yeah. Khorneflakes here needs to get rid of this ground so he can move back. He also has quite a lot of gold, but if Puma is able to keep this Drake warrior, keep this leader here for a turn or 2 longer, then they might just win based off of reinforcements. So he really needs this one. Doesn't get it here, but he still has the glider. Yeah, there were a lot of hits, but also he did hit all of them. No, hit enough to get out now, covering from poison as well. And I'm not sure, maybe... I'm not sure if the Northerners here, if Puma should have given up on this village early on, simply because he was attacked during daytime, where the Drakes have the advantage, and now the Drakes also have a lot of mobility to just run away, and it's gonna be difficult to follow them. These stats are kind of sad. I wish there were stats for the whole team, but I don't think I will be able, yeah, see them. Right. Now both of them, both of Clear Ocean's teams should be having their turns, so we'll see how much they can clear up. Obviously the Spearman very, very good into the dragons. And the Thunder God is quite scary with his 28 damage, but I think there is also an option for Raipazin to just look for 1 or 2 of these villages, because they are not really too dependent. All of the units are moving down south. Maybe you can have some distraction here. Yeah, moving even further back. Now we are at night AM. Well, moving up with his Orcish warrior, trying to get some more hits, but getting, I think, slightly unlucky on this village. He did quite a lot to take down this Drake burner. Does go down. He does not take the village though, because he really wants to kill the second Drake burner, or at least poison him. Now this is kind of a problem right now. Obviously, you are having a 2v2 fight in this area, but you don't really control the hill, and you're having your units on flat terrain, grass terrain. Meanwhile, all the dwarves and outlaws can use this amazing hill, getting 60% defense here, 70% defense here. How do you even answer that one? Maybe the scout looking around a little bit. There's not too much happening. 2 Drake Clashers, I think it is a pretty decent call, simply because you are getting pushed by 2 people right now. The Drake Clashers have the best resistances out of all the dragons, if you are not looking at the cold and arcane damage. But there's no cold and arcane damage on the side of the clear ocean, so that's in general good to stall out, because it does look like they will be winning this 2v2 just simply based off of having the control of this area. Yeah. The Raipazin decides to play it a little bit slower this time, and moving his units up, getting some reinforcements. Obviously, the Spearman, super good, cost-efficient unit, which works well into both of his opponents, unless the Dragon player, the Khorneflakes, will try to recruit a lot of Saurians. There's one Ogre here, but that's about it. And this Ogre will heal both of these units, which will happen on the start of his turn. So these are like some of the interesting mechanics, combinations, synergies that you can get in the 2v2, which I think is very exciting and interesting to explore. Imagine you have a dwarf who's getting filled by 4 every turn while staying on a hill. How do you even move that one? The puma trying to get some value here, and this obviously something they should be looking for, but I don't really feel this one. It's gonna be so difficult pushing into this area, pushing into the hills while you're just on the flat terrain, and obviously with the healing behind them with the Sorin Augur, it's going to be super annoying. I would probably look for some sort of counterattack. Again, I feel like this area is kind of exposed, and dwarves really don't want to be contesting this area. Look at this defense around here. You can take this village. You might get shot once. Although 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, you will get shot once. It might not hit, it might hit, but still, it's just gonna be a little bit of a distraction. It's also closer for your units to arrive at. Maybe even get 1 cavalryman, as I said, maybe get one fighter. Just stand on the village, maybe threaten this one as well. But right now, this is kind of difficult situation. You see again, clmates, very happy to just be taking these hills. See the first Ulfstalker kill on the assassin. Great job. It does look like just a cleanup. The units are in good position. You just move up, kill whatever's left. Naga taking the village is kind of nice. At the same time, you will just probably get killed next turn. Even though it's night times, you're still kind of outnumbered here. Not sure about the troll whelp recruitment. I think you just either go for a lot of goblins or a lot of grunt. Oh, but the Naga does cold quite well. Still goes down though. And this Drake warrior just doing quite a lot. Being able to fly makes the cedar so powerful in this situation. Going for some range hits here, getting the spearman in position. But this is kind of awkward because it does look like you're losing down south, right? Let me look at the statistics as well I can. So far, the Raipazin didn't get too much action, at least based on what the numbers say. Getting more bowmen. Bowmen are kind of nice because you can attack the fighter's stealth retaliation, but I would probably just go for a mage or 2. If you really want to push this position, then having a mage dealing fire damage and having 70% hit chance on all tiles is probably not a bad idea. It's a lot of damage that you kind of need to break through here. If you take too long to move through these mountains and arrive here, then your ally might just go down. Again, it's not a dwarf that is likely to survive here, although there's a lot of follow-up. But again, they can control this hill is so good. Another Ulfstalker. Nice. One more dwarf in range. As it's supposed to be. And I really gotta say, clmate's playing it very well with all these hills, just setting up his units in a way where can't really move past them. You can't engage them as well. Oh, but also some nice retaliations here. The Ogre is around. And the Ogre, the marksman ability also helps a lot with taking down the Spearman. Let me look at these statistics again. clmates so far killed 5 units, quite a lot of them. And only lost his 2 Drake Burners. As I said, kind of difficult units to play with, but they did do quite a lot of work against grunts. Just moving up, decides to move out with 6 as well, and this is kind of a sign of maybe not desperation, but a sign that he needs more punching power right here. And it is about to be daytime. The drakes will be quite strong, the orc will be quite weak, so you really need to do something here. Not sure about the troll up on the village. Usually you don't want your regenerating units on a village, because they regenerate 8 HP no matter where they are. You would rather have something like a spearman or maybe even an archer on this, so they can also make use of the regeneration. Once again, it's in group. It's just like right now you have seen this synergy of having some healers. These Sorin Augur healing 4 HP on both of these dwarves. Does help quite a lot, especially if you can get some of them hold the line like this. Second Sorin Augur coming in. The Augurs are also pretty good into these spearmen and loyalists in general, because most of them just do piercing damage right now, and they have good pierce resistance. Slowly moving in, taking out the villagers, and while the spearmen are on decent terrain, 50% defense, obviously so are all of his opponents. And I think the Augur and the fighters just have better stats if it's more or less an even fight. Leader comes out. Nice use of leadership, getting 2 units with it. Picking up both the Drake Clashers. So it is not really that clear. I don't really see an advantage, a clear advantage for anyone. I see Puma losing quite a lot of units without killing a lot. As I said, it's kind of difficult to play out. And during this daytime it will also be way more annoying. Let's see. He decides to take this engagement, which doesn't feel like something he should be taking against a strong Wolfstalker, but maybe it had good chances for him. I'm not sure what the chances are here. So one last kill to the Wolfstalker, and he ends up going down to the dagger of the Orcish Archer. So this Archer is most likely dead next turn, especially with the leader this close. And Puma doesn't really have much to recover here. So he decides to move out with the warrior, just to have a little bit more punching strength here. And stop clearing the hill, which is an important point. Yeah. Trying to get rid of the Orcish Archer, it is enough. But it needs to concede this hill though, which might be which might feel kind of bad if you let Spearman and Bowman get on this one. You would much rather be punching down the hill. Enforcement's coming around, and we have the first promotion. The Drake Ladder promoting to the Sky Drake over here. We have leader on leader action, which is obviously much favored for Khorneflakes right here because of the daytime advantage. And the leader snipe with a promotion to Sorin Oracle. And this is kind of what I mean. It's been looking right here up for Puma throughout this whole game. Mainly fighting kind of 1v2. The Loyalist, the Raipazin, got his units quite late. So nice pickup. And using his units to full potential with all the mobility. And again, this is something that is easier because both of these players take a turn before the Orcs take their turn. So they are quite late on the priority list. Yeah, this point is quite difficult. You are playing 1v2, unless you're able to trap the Drake Warrior here, which I don't really see this happening right now. And it is a very difficult game to play, and your leader this far out. Also, I might see a chance where you get to recruit from down here and then I would play it. Want to play out the game a little bit more. I mean, there might always be a chance you might get lucky, but from the way the units are positioned, it was they have control of the hills. Just playing 1v2 with the units is just really difficult unless you get a lucky level up. Ooh, quite not enough. If he survived this combat, he would have leveled up. So I do think it is a difficult game. And especially now with all the Soren recruitments, it's obviously a very nice move. The Soren units all have 20% piercing resistance. Yeah, Raipazin sees it's not really a game he can win at this point. And that's about it. So the first win of the tournament goes to Team ATA Carlos over here. I said it was kind of difficult for me to really know what the winning strategy is. As I said, the important part that I see in this map is just this hill control and being able to kind of synergize, focus down one player, which clmates and the khorneflakes did really well. But at the same time, I'm not sure if there's a much better play besides recruiting more like different units, just recruiting more goblins, maybe recruiting some mobility to threaten the Nalgon player up north. Yeah, guys, as said, I'll be watching all of the games, uploading them one by one as I get the replays. So I hope you enjoyed this one, and I'll see you in the next video.